Chasing is a vibration born from lack. Anything born from lack broadcasts a signal that slowly pushes what you want away. You felt it. The harder you long for something, the farther it seems to drift. The more you wait for a message, the longer silence lingers. The more you hope to be seen and understood, the more invisible you feel. This isn't because you're unworthy or fate is cruel. It's because your energy, quiet but powerful, keeps saying, I lack. I need. I'm not enough without that. You can smile and act fine, but your field is more honest than your words, and reality answers to it. We don't attract with thoughts alone, we attract with frequency. When your energy runs after, clings, and grasps, you unknowingly push away the very thing you desire. This isn't a tale about wanting, it's a tale about vibration. Only when you stop seeking, stop controlling, and stop declaring your lack do you return to center, where you no longer chase or attract, you simply shine. One theory of consciousness and vibration. Some vibrations are inaudible yet change an entire room. A person walks in, says nothing, and attention turns. Others try their best and still make people feel heavy. It isn't in the words, it's the energy field, and it doesn't lie. Jung didn't use modern vibe language, but he grasped that consciousness, both conscious and unconscious, acts like a living magnetic field. When you emit from craving, control, or anxiety, your signal says, I don't have. I'm afraid. I'm not enough. People and life respond not to what you say, but to what you are. In analytical psychology, Jung showed how desire launched from a wounded ego activates the shadow, not just your bad parts, but all you repress, deny, or won't face. If you chase love to escape loneliness, you're acting from the belief that you're incomplete alone. If you chase success to fix worth, you're moving from a crack, not true passion. Projection is the unconscious casting of unintegrated parts onto the world. Jung noted that projections make the world a copy of our unknown face. So reality starts reflecting our unseen wounds. Imagine entering a new relationship. On the surface you're confident and easy. Inside, you refresh your phone, script scenarios, and tense up at delays. Even if you say nothing, that vibration radiates. Others sense it in your eyes, your heartbeat's rhythm, the pauses between words. They don't pull back because they dislike you, but because they feel an energy that demands to be filled. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it runs your life and you call it fate. You can repeat affirmations and visualize futures, yet it's not what you want that's magnetized, it's what you are. If your base frequency is fear, lack, or insecurity, the signal is I don't have. I'm not enough. By the law of frequency, you'll meet experiences that confirm it, lukewarm people, missed chances, mirrors of self-doubt. Jung distinguished ego and soul. The ego wants to control, plan, possess, prove. The soul simply is. From ego, you feel compelled to act, be chosen, be kept, prevent loss. From soul, you rest in the truth, I am myself. What belongs will stay. The soul asks for your truth, not your performance. Vibrations born of lack are really vibrations of fear, abandonment, old memory, an inner child waiting to hear, you are worthy. You are enough. No one can truly bring that from outside if you haven't sent that signal within. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. What you seek isn't ahead, it's in the frequency you're broadcasting now. Shift from pleading to presence, from expectation to steadiness, from anxiety to trust. Then you won't need to chase. What is aligned will come, not because you did it right, but because you became the right person. Story 1. Carla. You don't attract what you wish for, you attract what you are. If your field keeps broadcasting lack, waiting, and fear of abandonment, reality will echo that. Carla's story makes this plain. Carla, 34, intelligent and self-aware, endured a painful breakup. She didn't run from pain, she read, meditated, journaled, sought therapy, cared for herself, rebuilt esteem. From the outside, she seemed healed. But new connections kept collapsing the same way, growing distance, fragility, and then a clean break, with no obvious cause. In an intensive session, her therapist said, "Your energy isn't waiting for love. It's begging for confirmation." That sentence struck the core. Carla hadn't let go, she had been proving she was worthy. The exterior changed, but inside she clung to a pattern. The person who would heal me, who would certify that I am enough. Carla wasn't present with new people. She waited for someone to behave differently this time, so she could finally feel she hadn't failed at love. She was not loving, she was hoping to be rescued. Jung taught that we don't become whole by imagining light, but by bringing darkness to awareness. Carla's darkness wasn't her ex, it was the belief that she wasn't whole unless chosen. Her self-love had been conditional. I will love me once someone loves me. Energy doesn't respond to checklists, it responds to truth. And truth kept returning one lesson. When you demand confirmation, you broadcast "I'm not enough," and life answers you, not your words. After that session, Carla didn't change tactics to get love, she changed stance. She didn't suppress feeling, she watched her impulses with new people. Whenever she noticed early expectations, she asked, "Am I loving, or am I waiting for proof that I'm enough?" That question shifted her vibration. Not less love or slower pace, just love from fullness. She stopped transmitting "choose me so I can be me." She chose herself. Then the world stopped being something to fix and became a place to live, share and shine. No chasing. No proving. Presence. As Jung reflected, the hardest act is to accept oneself completely. When you do, you stop needing others to certify anything. Your field holds fullness, not lack, and what you sought begins to arrive. 3 Mechanism of the inner world, Jung's analysis. When Carla stopped seeking confirmation, she didn't just change how she loved, she met the deeper mechanism shaping her life. Our repeating loops, connections, letdowns, patterns, arise from the energy field emitted by the deepest layer of self. Jung distinguished desire of the ego from the call of the self. When ego longs from emptiness, it activates unhealed parts, the shadow. You can't positive think those parts away. The more suppressed, the more they shape your signal. The more you force a persona, the more you become your opposite, because you never face the source of desire, lack. Have you ever felt something off about a smiling person? Or heard "I've moved on" while sensing muffled grief? That's energy, not mysticism. Living vibration arising from a psychological system. Jung said psyche expresses itself in emotionally charged images. They accumulate in the unconscious and broadcast outward like a frequency. So even if you insist "I'm fine," others feel your tremor. The ego can spin stories. The field does not. Danger comes when ego acts from fear but attaches positive labels. "I'm just trying," "I'm in love." Then the shadow grows strong. Accepting the shadow is a moral task and the essence of individuation. Only when you face the vibration rooted in control, fear, and insecurity do you begin the journey back to wholeness. Individuation isn't becoming a better you, it's returning to center, where all fragments are seen and welcomed. From the unhealed ego, you emit lack. From the self, you no longer need to control, persuade, or pursue. You rest in inner wealth. Then your signal is no longer "complete me," but a quiet field, "I am myself and I am enough." Are you living from center, or broadcasting a plea to be confirmed? That single awareness begins the shift. Others don't love you for what you do, they're drawn to the field you carry, often without knowing it. If that field arises from unintegrated darkness, you'll meet people who trigger your wounds, not to punish you, but to lead you toward healing. The self is both center and circumference, embracing light and dark. If you keep meeting the same type or feeling misunderstood despite effort, look at your frequency, not your self-opinion. Turn inward, not to hide or fix, but to integrate. Then you stop sending a begging signal and begin transmitting truth. If you're ready to return to center, say one word to yourself: present. Presence is what makes energy magnetic. No chase required, only resonance. Story 2, Natalia. Understanding isn't liberation. The mind can declare "I've let go," while your energy still clings. Then life mirrors the cling, no matter how many books, videos, or declarations you make. Natalia's story shows this. At 40, Natalia had survived a toxic relationship. She rebuilt: therapy, meditation, journaling, sharing. She felt strong and ready, until a new man appeared. Within days, she was checking her phone often, analyzing every message, guessing motives. Silence, just a little, brought waves of anxiety. She didn't act out, but her mind spiraled. Did I do something wrong? Will this end the old way? In a session, her therapist observed, "Your mind let go, but your energy is still holding on." Natalia was stunned. Her healing had been driven by the need to guarantee the next time would be different. Deep down, her signal still said, I need something outside to make me safe so I won't be hurt again. Unprocessed energy works like a script. You change partners, places, and habits, but draw the same core themes: abandonment, misunderstanding, insufficiency. Jung called this the compulsion to repeat, the unconscious urge to relive what's unresolved. Healing begins when you see what lies beneath and integrate it into the whole. Your vibration speaks before your words. People don't withdraw because you lack something specific. They sense a field asking to be filled, a weight you might not feel you're carrying. Natalia never begged, yet her signal clearly asked, give me certainty. Make sure I won't be hurt. Under that energy, love can't flow. It twists into a duty to heal what only you can heal. If you keep asking, why do I attract the same person? Stop interrogating the world and listen inward. What am I emitting that I won't admit? Connection can't grow on a foundation bent by fear. The more you seek safety in others, the farther you drift from center. Life responds not to what you want, but to what you are. The moment you notice this, like Natalia, you've already shifted the field. That recognition alone begins transformation. 5. The difference between control and surrender. Picture this. You tell yourself you won't text. You're fine. Minutes later, you unlock your phone, hoping for a sign that you still matter. Outwardly you're letting go, but your nervous system is on high alert. That isn't peace, it's control disguised as silence. Control isn't strength, it's a survival reflex of an unhealed ego. We confuse control with power: do more, manage more, leave nothing to chance. In truth, control is a contraction, fear wrapped in logic. Jung taught that the ego seeks to control what the soul hasn't integrated. You begin a new bond. One day of fewer texts and you feel compelled to act. Message first, go silent to test them, ask sideways questions. None of these acts is wrong, but what state fuels them? If it's the inability to bear uncertainty, you aren't connecting, you're controlling. When inner situations remain unconscious, they show up outside as fate. If fear of losing control rules you, you'll attract scenarios that force control until you either burn out or wake up. Surrender is not passivity. It's the strongest act of a mind at rest in itself. It's dropping the script that reality must obey your ego. It's trusting that what belongs arrives without force, and what doesn't hurts when held. Lena's story shows this. Her new bond felt easy, until small silences arrived. She began parsing every word. Outwardly calm, inwardly squeezing the connection with expectation. The energy withdrew. When asked why, her partner could only say it felt heavy. Lena saw she wasn't understanding, she was controlling in disguise. Surrender is inner maturity. It's ending the war against yourself. It's no longer needing certainty to feel safe, reactions to feel loved, or control to prevent loss. Control doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you from living. Sometimes the bravest move is to do nothing. Feel what you're clinging to, and let it pass. If you recognize yourself here, you have a choice. Whisper, I am letting go. Step out of control energy into the quiet magnetism of trust. 6. The power of presence. Surrender doesn't erase you, and not controlling doesn't make you passive. This leads to what Jung called the true center of spiritual life: presence. If control is action born of fear, presence is being born of wholeness. It demands nothing, defends nothing, asks nothing to prove itself. Presence isn't how long you meditate, it's the living field you emit when mind, body, and emotions are here, neither sprinting into future nor collapsing into past. Jung wrote that freedom expands only to the edge of our consciousness. Without presence, you still move within the reflexes of control. With presence, you choose. Think of someone whose mere arrival calms a room. They don't try to impress, they just show up fully. That's presence, no performance, yet the space shifts. When you're present with yourself, you don't need to make an impression. You are the impression. Pause. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Are you here, or is your body seated while your mind wanders? Presence doesn't come from wishing, it grows with practice. Individuation is a passage through layers of illusion and wound, until only unforced presence remains. The self is a union of opposites. You don't become present by becoming better, but by ceasing to flee who you are. Daniela lived the loop: new person, excitement, anxiety, analysis, exhaustion. One day she chose radical stillness. She didn't leave life, she left reactivity. No chasing, no strategizing. Each day she practiced simple presence, breath, heartbeat, silence, without forcing herself to feel better. Weeks passed. She noticed quiet where panic once lived. Messages no longer defined her day. She felt clear. Connections no longer repeated old scripts, because her field no longer ran on lack, but on grounded being. How to cultivate presence. Not by checklists. By releasing the demand to become, and returning to what is. Jung didn't push self-improvement. He invited us to become who we truly are. That becoming isn't chase, it's remembrance. If this lands, repeat one word, present. Not as habit, but as a homecoming. 7. Vibrational detachment. Presence doesn't descend as a gift, it grows from discipline. Pausing instead of reacting, observing instead of controlling, meeting yourself in the silence you once filled. Presence can't thrive in a mind driven by anxiety. This is where Jung's practical spirit points to vibrational detachment, not coldness, but a return to your whole self, unhooked from needing outside validation. Detachment isn't indifference or lack of desire. It's a vow not to betray yourself, just to hold an unhealthy bond. It begins by noticing the subtle signs of lack, the itch to fill every silence, the compulsion to check, the need for reassurance. That isn't your true nature, it's a frequency hijacking your system. Jung warned that an activated complex can take us over. We think we're being reasonable while an old wound steers our hands. If you can't bear not knowing what someone thinks, if you need repeated proof to feel safe, that need doesn't come from the present. It comes from a long-lived anxiety. Easily triggered, unable to wait, forever seeking explanations. You're not loving, you're transmitting lack. The world hears it as a quiet cry, even if you never say a word. The exit is not more action, but a pause at the first impulse. When you want to send that extra message, to do something to hold the bond, stop. In each of us, Jung wrote, lives a figure we don't know, who speaks in dreams and sees us differently than we see ourselves. In the pause, you'll hear that voice. It doesn't need control, only presence. Practice a small ritual. For the first 3 minutes of restlessness, do nothing. Breathe. Don't touch your phone. Then ask, am I acting from presence or from fear? Create a daily island of silence. 10 minutes, no screens, just breath. Whisper, I don't chase. I don't cling. I am present. You don't have to believe at once. Repetition lays new tracks in the body. If you drift back to how do I be loved? Invert it, what part of me still doubts I am worthy? Until you bring the unconscious to light, it runs the show. Detachment isn't doing better. It's noticing and refusing to repeat. And when you stop chasing, demanding, and striving to be seen, something ordinary and miraculous begins. You become what you sought. You stop sending signals of lack. You stop shaping reality with fear. You stop needing someone to understand you to feel valuable. You don't attract with tactics, sugar, or polish. You attract with the true frequency of your being. When you're present and no longer denying yourself, you radiate. There's nothing to chase. There's nothing to pull. There's only living in tune with your field. True radiance isn't effort, it's clarity. When you end the pursuit, outer and inner, you don't run toward what you want, you remain in your truth. From that still point, you emit an irresistible quiet, an ease that lets the wrong fall away and the right arrive. You don't need to become someone else, you need to return to your center. Let stillness speak for you. Let your energy arrive before you do. Let inner fullness be the call the world can't ignore. You no longer need to be chosen, because you have chosen yourself. And that vibration is unmistakable. If these insights stir your wish to live authentically, to be free, and to heal from within, stay with this journey back to yourself, where nothing must be chased, because everything essential has always been within you.